Nice to meet. We are the West Midlands Young Combined Authority, and our voice matters. I'm Kashmir Hawker and co-chair of the West Midlands Young Combined Authority Board, which is a board of 16 to 25-year-olds from across the region who work with and challenge the decisions that are made by Mayor and regional leaders. I think levelling up in my mind, and I suspect many young people's minds across the region, is the enhancement of opportunities and ensuring that the next generation, in fact this current generation who have grown up through some very difficult times, are able to feel that they have things on their doorstep that they would be able to achieve. Being an autistic person, I want to make sure that there's a society which is as open and as tolerant and as kind-hearted and as welcoming for those with disabilities as possible.
After I graduated from uni, I found it really difficult to find jobs around the area, so I think we need to focus more on the careers perspective for university students in particular. I am doing an apprenticeship right now, so I know the value of apprenticeships, and before when I was back in school I didn't really know much about it. There was a negative perception on apprenticeships, but now that I realise that there's loads of potential for it. Apprenticeships offer a combination of both being in employment and also learning on the job, so you're getting the best of both worlds, and I think there's a lot can be done with that. Promoting apprenticeships will help younger people to get into jobs, get the necessary skills a lot earlier and progressing a lot further.
Many young people use public transport daily. Many of them go to college, sixth form, university, and sometimes they need to travel across Birmingham and across the West Midlands. And I was thinking about is Zoom Beyond passes that have been introduced in South Yorkshire. So from the ages of 16 to 21, young people can travel across the whole of South Yorkshire for 80 pence, and that could be a very great deal for the West Midlands, as it can help loads of young people coming from low socio-economic backgrounds that can't necessarily afford public transport, maybe £1 across the whole day or 80 pence, something to help these deprived communities, deprived young people, because we don't want families to decide, okay, either pay public transport to feed their children. Young people should be part of everything the Combined Authority and Andy do, but I really want them to speak about to speak to national governments down in Westminster to remember actually young people are affected by every single decision that they make, and we need to be remembered in every single aspect or point.
I used to work for a public sector organisation here that sort of focused on business development and business support. And one of the things that I really want the Combined Authority to focus on is brain drain. One of the levelling up agenda targets is to sort of increase the amount of research and development funding, and I think that those kind of well-paying jobs that really focus on sort of improving the region, they have to go to people from the region, and we can't be in a position where some of the best and brightest talent from our region is slowly ebbing away. And beyond that, one of the things as well is housing and homelessness. People have to want to live here in order to stay and make their futures here. And it really breaks my heart because the West Midlands is such a place of untapped potential. And by making sure that we're sort of getting people at both ends of that, both when they're young and when they're ready to enter the workforce, we'll be able to bracket them and make sure that they stay here and make the region better. You know, the West Midlands of tomorrow, by definition, isn't going to look like the West Midlands of yesterday. And if I've known one thing about people, it's they have immense pride in their place. And we have to make sure that change is a good thing. One of the elements of devolution is the positive impact that it's going to have on social cohesion. When people believe that they have a stake in their future, they're much more likely to come together and actually work as a community.
I've come from quite a underprivileged kind of community, and now I'm at a school which is like a lot more enriched with opportunity because it's exam season. Like, a lot of people were trying to find an adequate place to study, but it's just not accessible for some people, so then they turn to libraries which are full, and there's not always, like, you know, computers and Wi-Fi and stuff like this. But then how can you expect a community to do well when they don't have like that kind of accessibility?
I come from a family that hasn't really had much, and it has been hard for us to get online generally, and get computers, and I think not necessarily for secondary school age or college age, because there's a lot there, but starting university, I believe that there should be some sort of small means-tested grants to help people get a new computer. I would say a big part of it is climate change. Every young person is very, very passionate about it, and it breaks my heart to see not just government but companies do small acts of tokenism, not actually investing in more meaningful change for the future.
The Young Combined Authority wants to achieve a more integrated and efficient transport system through the Trailblazer devolution deal, which consists of having cheaper fares, perhaps something similar to South Yorkshire's Zoom Beyond Pass, or even nationalisation akin to what was done in Greater Manchester.
In terms of housing, we want it to be easier to become a homeowner and to stay a homeowner through building more affordable and environmentally friendly houses, and where possible, offering young people support in becoming homeowners.
In terms of education and skills, levelling up means making sure that young people's views are heard, more funding is secured, and making it easier for young people to access higher education through means of additional support such as mentoring or professional development sessions and workshops.